One thing nobody tells you about getting older, self-reliance matters more than ever. And sometimes that means having the right tool to protect it. I say this as someone who grew up around wheel guns and learned early that reliable tools beat flashy toys every single time. For many men who are past their prime, retired, slowing down, or living alone, the conversation isn't about aggression. It's about autonomy, safety, and peace of mind. The Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution ratified 1791 exists for a reason. And while laws and social views change, the basic human need to protect yourself and your home doesn't. If you're an older guy who's nervous about recoil, arthritis, or complex mechanics, hear me, you don't need to wrestle with a heavy magnum or a finicky optics setup. A thoughtfully chosen revolver or compact pistol from makers like Smith & Wesson or Ruger can be lightweight, low maintenance, and exceptionally reliable. Training matters more than the gear. Consistent. Practical practice sessions keep skills sharp without needing to lift heavy weights. I'll also be blunt. Obey your state laws and check any local restrictions before you carry or buy. But if you value independence and the ability to defend yourself, there are sensible, safe, and dignified ways to make a firearm part of a life that's still worth living on your terms. Let's get into it. The Smith & Wesson Model 36 is proof that not every tool needs to evolve to stay relevant. I've always admired how this little revolver blends history with modern practicality. Built from blued carbon steel and weighing just under 20 ounces, it feels solid without punishing your wrists. The 1.88-inch barrel and 5-round .38. Special capacity make it simple, compact, and effective. For older shooters, that simplicity is gold. No slide to rack, no safeties to fumble, just a steady trigger pull that does its job every single time. What I love most is how it fits naturally into the hand. Even arthritic hands find comfort in its checkered wooden grips. The balance between size and control gives it that reassuring heft without feeling heavy. I've seen people underestimate this little gun until they realize how smooth the double-action, single-action trigger really is. It's the kind of revolver that disappears under a jacket but never leaves your mind. To me, the Model 36 isn't nostalgia. It's proof that old-school reliability never ages. There's something deeply satisfying about holding a revolver that looks like it came straight out of a 1940s detective film. That's the heritage Rosco for you. It's not just about style. It's about attitude. The deep, polished black finish across its carbon steel frame and the wooden grips give it that cinematic vibe. But the transfer bar safety reminds you it's built for today's shooter, weighing around 23.52 ounces unloaded with a 3-inch barrel. It strikes a balance between classic appearance and modern handling. For older men, this one hits an emotional chord, a firearm that honors the past but performs in the present. The smooth double-action, single-action pull lets you control every shot, while the fixed sights keep things uncomplicated. It's easy to maintain, easy to carry, and feels familiar in all the right ways. The Rosco reminds me of the days when craftsmanship meant something, and it still does. When I first handled the Kimber K6XS, I realized this wasn't your grandfather's snub nose. It's compact, sleek, and purpose-built for concealed carry, but with a modern twist. The aluminum alloy frame keeps it at a featherweight 15.9 ounces, yet it holds 6 rounds of .38 Special Plus P, which is impressive for such a small revolver. The 2-inch stainless barrel and fluted cylinder not only look premium, but also make this gun remarkably well balanced. What stands out is the double-action only trigger. Smooth, predictable, and safe for everyday carry. The Hogue rubber grips absorb recoil beautifully, which matters a lot for older hands or anyone who's tired of punishing recoil. It's easy to draw, easy to aim with that bright orange dot front sight, and easy to trust. If the Model 36 represents the wisdom of tradition, the K6XS is the evolution of that wisdom. Precision engineering wrapped in practical simplicity. The Taurus 856 is a lesson in practical compromises. It gives you the extra round and snag-free draw without a wallet-crushing price tag, with a concealed hammer, 6-shot cylinder, and a roughly 2-inch barrel. It's designed for the kind of everyday carry that values reliability and simplicity over flash. Unloaded weight sits in the low 20-ounce range for many configurations, which translates to a carry piece that stays comfortable on your belt or in a pocket holster. What I appreciate most is how Taurus figured out the basics: a dependable transfer bar safety, user-friendly ergonomics, and a matte finish that hides dings and sweat for older shooters who worry about fumbling a thumb spur or snagging on clothing. The internal hammer removes a lot of those concerns while keeping the option for single-action accuracy when you want it. Trigger feel can vary by model and year. I always tell people to try several examples, but the overall package gives you 6 rounds and a real chance against the myth that wheel guns can't be modern carry tools. It's honest, unfussy, and built to work. When I talk about practice that actually changes outcomes, I bring up rimfire revolvers and trainers. While the classic Colt King Cobra is a big-bore icon in .357 Magnum, the lesson here is practical if you can train on a .22 LR trainer or a revolver with a conversion cylinder. You get massively more range time for much less money. A rimfire revolver offers the same ergonomics: trigger reset, cylinder indexing, sight picture, but with tiny recoil and tiny cost per round, which is huge for maintenance of skill. For older hands, that reduced recoil is everything. You can focus on smooth draws, steady sighting, and trigger control without flinching. If your wrists or shoulders are sore, a .22 session builds confidence and muscle memory that carries over to centerfire defensive loads. My recommendation: find a comfortable rimfire revolver or an affordable conversion kit for a service revolver and make a habit of low-stress, high-rep practice. It's the single best way to keep your defensive toolbox sharp. The Ruger LCR taught me to respect modern materials, using polymer or aluminum fire control housings with stainless cylinders. Some LCR variants come in at around 13-17 ounces depending on configuration. Unbelievably light for a revolver that still handles defensive cartridges. That weight savings matters to older shooters who want daily comfort without sacrificing dependability. Internally, the LCR's friction-reducing cam and tuned trigger geometry produce a surprisingly smooth double-action pull. Grip design is critical. Swap to a slightly larger rubberized grip, and the recoil impulse becomes friendlier, not harsher. The trade-off is obvious. Very light guns exhibit more perceived recoil with hotter loads. But for many older shooters who favor moderate defensive loads, the LCR hits a sweet spot: ultralight carry, modern manufacturing, and a trigger that lets you shoot accurately in short strings. It's a modern interpretation of the wheel gun that respects the old rules while bending them where it helps. The Smith Wesson Model 642 is the kind of revolver that gets practical problems solved quietly. It's a J-frame workhorse enclosed hammer, 1.875-inch barrel, and an unloaded weight in the mid-teens ounces. Built to disappear in a pocket or an IWB holster. What matters most for older shooters isn't flash, it's durability and resistance to the elements. The 642's corrosion-resistant finishes and simple internals mean you can carry it in a pocket all summer and not worry every time you reach for it. Handling this gun taught me to value durability over novelty. The short sight radius and small grips demand practice. Sure, but that same compactness is what makes it reliable in the worst moments. It won't snag. It won't rust if you sweat, and it won't require aggressive maintenance to keep operating. If stability and a low-profile presence are your priorities, the Model 642 is straightforward, safe, and sensible. The Ruger SP101 is the opposite of a pocket gun. It's a compact, hefty tool built to handle stout defensive ammunition with composure, tipping the scales in the mid-20-ounce range and commonly found with 2.25 to 3-inch barrels. The SP101's steel frame soaks up recoil and gives older hands a better time with hotter rounds. The mechanical simplicity, solid lockup, robust extractor, and precise cylinder timing makes it a joy to maintain and to trust under stress. For me, the SP101 is the revolver you pick when you want to field strip less and shoot more. The extra mass changes the whole recoil narrative. Follow-ups are easier, and you can run heavier, more effective defensive loads without it feeling like you're launching a rocket from your wrist. It's not about showmanship. It's about a practical, durable firearm that lets you choose power without sacrificing control. Diamondback's SDR surprised me with how much accuracy-first thinking you can squeeze into a defensive revolver. It comes with a 3-inch barrel option, fiber optic or high-visibility front sights, and a solid stainless frame that keeps point-of-impact consistent shot after shot. The machining quality, tight forcing cone, clean crown, and consistent groove profile matters more than most people realize for accuracy with short revolvers, and the SDR takes those details seriously. If you're an older shooter who values sight acquisition and consistent hits over flash capacity numbers, this is for you. The grip profile and sight system work together to produce fast alignment, and the build quality ensures it's not a one-season affair. The Diamondback SDR feels like a precision tool in everyday clothes, an elevated wheel gun for folks who want to be deliberate and accurate. The Taurus 605 TORO flips the script on what a small frame can do. With all-steel construction, a 3-inch barrel, and compatibility for optics, modern cuts that accept small red dots, it's a small revolver that plays big. That optics capability is more than a gimmick. For aging eyes and slower reflexes, a simple red dot can dramatically speed sight acquisition and improve hit probability and stress. What sold me on the TORO is the marriage of magnum-capable durability and modern sighting solutions. It's heavy enough to tame recoil from stout rounds, but compact enough for carry, if you want magnum performance without sacrificing modern advantages like an optic. The 605 TORO is a compelling bridge between old-school power and new-school aimability. When I look back at all these revolvers, from the vintage charm of the Smith Wesson Model 36 to the modern optics-ready Taurus 605 TORO, one truth stands out. Good design never ages. What matters most isn't chasing the newest polymer trend or the flashiest accessory. It's finding a tool that aligns with who you are and what you value. For older shooters, that often means something simple, steady, and consistent. A wheel gun doesn't jam when your hands shake, doesn't depend on fine motor skills under stress, and doesn't require a computer chip to keep you safe. If there's a message I want to leave you with, it's this: being older doesn't mean being helpless. It means being smarter about your choices. Whether you pick a lightweight Ruger LCR, a sturdy SP101, or a nostalgic heritage Rosco, the point isn't to own a gun. It's to reclaim control over your safety and your peace of mind. Practice regularly. Stay within your state laws. Treat every firearm with respect, and it will return that respect when it counts. Because at the end of the day, the revolver isn't just a mechanical relic. It's a statement of independence, experience, and the kind of reliability the modern world tends to forget. And as always, stay sharp, stay safe, and hold them down.